It's the National Football League on EA Sports, and the wait is over for this rivalry game. It's the Washington Commanders and the Philadelphia Eagles, coming up next.
Let's go get this thing, baby.
The city of Philadelphia is one of rich history and passion, and you can always count on the ladder when you step inside Lincoln Financial Field. Brandon Gautin alongside Charles Davis. Before kickoff, Charles, quickly your keys to the game.
Well, partner, I could give you the standard ones, turnovers, special teams play. But here's one that doesn't get talked about much anymore, and that's time of possession. Whoever controls the football, gives their defense a break, and takes care of business, that's the team that's going to win this ball game.
Here's the kicker, Jake Elliott, ready to get this one started. And off we go from Lincoln Financial Field. And able to get this out to the 25. Here are the Commanders for their first drive of the game. Leading them out, their young quarterback, the rookie from LSU.
We're seeing it more and more in this league, how teams love to have athletes back there taking the snaps, guys who can throw it and move around and get yardage with their legs if needed. He's one of the best examples that we see out there right now. He can throw for hundreds of yards one week and then run for 100+ the next. He adds an extra dimension that really confounds defenses when he puts it all together.
Call it no gain on the game's first play, and it's second down now.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Well, they have the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. To throw is Daniels. And that throw behind his man. He missed him. Incomplete.
I didn't like the look of that play right from the beginning. I thought he should have seen the coverage that was there, tried to force it in. That one, he's fortunate, just fell incomplete.
So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. Throwing now is Daniels. Here's a screen for Robinson. Room past the 35, and he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. Right about 20 yards on the pickup. Officially, they'll say it's going to go for 19.
And as you're game planning as a staff, you go through all the different ways you can neutralize the other guy's pass rushers. Extra linemen, leave a tight end in, bring the running backs back in to block. Or you can do this, a little simple screen pass, and it works to perfection.
Off the play fake, Daniels. Short throw here to the tight end Bates. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And it'll be second down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Out of the gun, they give to Robinson. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Here's Daniels. He'll get this complete to Sennett, the tight end. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately because if you let that big guy get ahead of steam up, boy, then you got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on first down. 2nd and 6. Robinson on a give right side. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
Well, that play was over before it even got started. Thanks for nothing, huh? How about that? That sets up a very difficult 3rd down call now.
And they'll need to get to the 35 if they want to keep this drive going on third down. To the air goes Daniels. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Noah Brown, 43 yards. And the Commanders are on the board first here this afternoon. Those are the drives that prove a lot. You got a rookie quarterback, Charles. You're on the road, takes him down, throws the touchdown pass.
And in a game like this, with, as you described, a rookie quarterback, the team usually says, okay, we got to take care of this guy. We got to protect him. But when he goes out and plays like this on the first drive on the road, he doesn't have to say, I'm here to be your leader. They just need to follow him.
Austin Seibert on for the extra point. And the kick is good, and the Commanders out to a 7-0 lead. So that drive takes them down the field in 8 plays. And it was polished off by a Washington touchdown. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. Philly's offense getting ready, and Jalen Hurts ready to lead them. The second-round pick who started his career at Alabama, then finished with an electric senior season at Oklahoma.
Tremendous production in college at 2 different universities, and this is a guy who was a finalist for a Heisman Trophy. Still much more of a runner than a thrower, but has plenty of arm and is capable of making the big throws downfield. And don't underestimate his ability to think the game. Remember, he's the son of a coach.
Over the middle, brought in by Dotson. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it's second down.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
From the 35, back to work on 2nd and 4. From the gun, it's Hurts. Over the middle, complete. It's Smith. And Devontae going to pick up the Eagles' first down as he'll get this up past the 40. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets them a new set of downs. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. They'll run for the first time with Saquon Barkley. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
Here's Hurts to throw. Complete. Smith has it. That'll go for a gain of 7, and that will bring up second down. Up the middle with Barkley. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
Brown goes in motion left. Hurts with a little pop pass on the jet sweep. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Here comes the 7th play now of this drive, as this is 3rd and 10. And they'll send the slot in motion left. Hurts sets up to throw it. He's going to have the first down and then some. And finally marked down at the 23. Give him 22 there on the third down conversion. Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his third completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities. And a top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of havoc. Throwing is Hurts. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at second down. Brandon, once that one broke down, there were only so many options left for him to take. Fortunately, only first down, so he smartly got the yardage he could get and didn't worry about trying to turn it into a bigger play and end up taking a bigger loss. Here, they hope they can regroup and get something different going here on second down. Hurts. He's got Dallas Goedert, his tight end, over the middle. And Goedert going to have an Eagles first down as he's down to the 12. What a methodical drive this is turning out to be. That time 9 yards, and the sticks move again. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. They'll set up a throw. He delivers another to Goedert, complete. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction. From the 3, 2nd and a yard. In motion, the tight end. They go back to the ground now with Barkley. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Look, I realize on any play call, when it's properly executed, it can go for a touchdown. But the runs that really make it work are the ones where you just get what you need, right? And he barely got the first down, but he got it.
Barkley. Diving for the end zone, and he'll get there. Touchdown. And that caps off what was really a balanced opening drive for them, Charles. They work in the rushing game and the aerial attack, and they end it with a touchdown. Strong in so many ways, wasn't it, partner? Their ability to throw it and run it and accomplish their goal, they've got to like the way that they started this ball game. Elliott good with a PAT, and we are tied at 7. So that drive, 12 plays in length, and it's capped off by a touchdown run from Saquon Barkley. Each team's had it, each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And he's going to be taken down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. These two teams all tied after 1. Washington with the football here to begin quarter number 2. As they've got a 1st and 10 at their own 25. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone. Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one. They'll run again here with Robinson. And this defense able to plug him up there as he'll get a yard to the 35. Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest. You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down? Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too. Here comes 3rd and the length of the football. Now Daniels. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's going to have a Commanders first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Robinson gets the toss on the right side. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
On 2nd down, another shot for Robinson. And down to the 44, 5 yards that time.
Not a ton of room available on that one, but he made use of what space was available and gained decent yardage.
And this offense on 3rd down today, a perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 4. Daniels looking to throw. That is caught. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 34-yard line. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. This will be caught once again by Brown. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. A gain of 32 that time.
He scored their touchdown earlier, and this had a chance to be another. This secondary scrambling for answers, looking at each other, trying to figure out who is going to put the clamps on this guy, because right now he's absolutely shredding them.
They'll run with Robinson, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. Brian Robinson Jr. taking it in from 2 yards out, and Washington has taken the lead.
Well, he'd been the workhorse on this drive, and it would have been unfair to bring someone else in to finish the job. So they go back to him again, and he delivers with a touchdown run.
Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. So that one, an 8-play drive. It spans 75 yards. And it was capped off by the touchdown run from Brian Robinson. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So back onto the field here come the Eagles for their second drive. They trail a 1-score deficit, 14-7, as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. Deron Payne, the big D tackle there to make the stop.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
From the 31, here's a 2nd down and 9. Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Back to throw here. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Hurts dangerous when he runs that football. He's got a first.
Well, he and his offense were staring down what was likely a 3-and-out. Zero fear from his side, though. Never doubted for a second they pick up the first. He's ready to pull the trigger on a keeper the moment it revealed itself.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. This is Smith with a grab. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. That is now 19-yard gains on back-to-back plays.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
They'll look to throw here on first down. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Dorrance Armstrong in there to get him. It's a loss of 5. Well, we've seen how this quarterback can beat you with his legs. Saw it earlier on this drive, as a matter of fact. But that time, they had him covered.
They really gave him no place to escape because oftentimes they're able to find a crack, a sliver, anything that can get them upfield. On that occasion, nothing open at all, and they swarmed him.
Another try after the first down sack. Hurts. He's got Smith here. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
They'll set up to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. That's good for a gain of 6, second and goal.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Second and goal from inside the 5. It'll be Hurts on the option. And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's third down. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter. 14-7. So they're back at the 7 now for third and goal. He'll look to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Strong coverage by Washington, and now fourth down.
I know every offense wants to start their snaps closer to the goal line, but it's actually harder to throw the ball in those situations. You throw into that tight coverage, you see what happens. Hard to get the ball in there.
Not enough space there. Lucky maybe that it wasn't intercepted. The kick by Elliott is good, and they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Set to go again. Here's Brian Robinson, the Commander offense. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the second quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. Looking for Crowder, and it's intercepted. Inside the 20. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Eagles defense gets a pick-6 TD. How about that for a little jolt right before intermission?
You talk about taking momentum into the half with you, and so many teams have an emphasis on trying to score in the last 2 minutes of a half to carry that with them. It's not often talked about scoring on defense, though. That's extra mo.
And now they may take the lead into the locker room as well. Elliott now to add the extra point. It's good, and they'll take a 17-14 lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick six, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick six and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a first down. To throw is Daniels. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's second down.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
Throwing now is Daniels. Man open, here is Crowder. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
Brandon, what's even more impressive is that came against double coverage. He gashed them with that reception, even with the extra focus that he drew from the defense.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Daniels. He's got Brown on the out route complete. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Now 2nd and 11 from the 32. Here's Daniels. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Now Washington going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. That's complete to Austin Eckler, the running back. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. Seibert able to knock this one through. So a long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, They just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
So still a little bit of time following the made field goal, but we are tied as the kick's away. This taken in at the goal line. So thanks to the late field goal, we are all tied up heading to intermission. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
We thought this one would be a close battle coming in, and we have not been disappointed. They're all even to this point. This has the feeling of a game that could go right down to the wire. One mistake or one big play could turn out to be the difference.
And bulldozing his way through. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Out come the Eagles now as he'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. Well, the first half, very even. I mean, really, in all facets, this ball game tied, Charles. So as we start the third quarter, curious to see what the second half brings us.
Certainly am. I'm with you on that one, and we all know a lot of coaches from the NFL all the way down to the Pee-wee level. They love to spin it to their teams. Hey, we're starting a brand new, shorter ball game. It's all even. Let's go out and seize it. This is ours.
From the 29, here's second down and 5. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Going across the middle, and Goddard's got it. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
For a tight end, he's got good straight line speed, and on that route, he's often the guy that gets overlooked. Nice job there finding him in stride for really good yardage.
From Commanders territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. They'll try the right side here. Barkley. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Ball on the 40 now. Here's 2nd and 6. Now back to throw. It's caught. Smith. And Devontae going to pick up the Eagles' first down as he'll get this down to the 32. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. In motion left comes Brown. Here's a fake on the jet sweep as he'll go instead with Barkley. And he works his way free all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone. So a decent gain there on the play, but that all gets wiped out with a penalty.
Well, that's a setback, but all the good play callers, they just move on. They find something else in the playbook that can attack this defense, and they go right back on the offensive on this play.
And it's complete right back in the hands of Smith. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. They go right back to him for 20 and a first.
What a drive. This has been just chewing up the yardage, and here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
Here's Hurts to throw. Out route, and it's complete to Brown. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. Second and a couple. Throwing is Hurts. Throw right side complete to Dotson. And the Eagles are going to have a 1st and goal as he's taken down at about the 8-yard line. They'll try and run for it with Barkley. And only about a yard there as he takes it from the 9 to the 8.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on first down, holding them to a short gain.
Here's 2nd and goal, operating from the 8-yard line. Another try for Barkley. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. A big play forthcoming. Here's 3rd and goal. From the gun, it's Hurts. And this is caught. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts finding A.J. Brown. And the Eagles have taken the lead as they go right down the field and score on the opening drive of the 2nd half. And in the red zone, I guess this is why you have a guy like that on your roster.
Without a doubt, and if you have him, you use him because he's a guy who's going to win just about every time. I don't care what the coverage is.
Elliott good on the extra point, and they will take a 7-point lead. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it's capped off by an A.J. Brown touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. The Commanders' offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And he's been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been totally taken apart, and that is borne out in his numbers. He's been terrific all game long. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. Now a handoff to start it out. Robinson. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secure before they slide off and try and chip someone at the 2nd level.
Well, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
At this point in the 2nd half, one mistake on a forced throw could doom your chances of a comeback. So that's the right call there to just throw that one away.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. To the air goes Daniels. Buying time to his left. And some room to maneuver. Able to find a lot of empty space there, picking up the 1st down and a 21-yard gain.
On 3rd down, he obviously wants to throw the football, but there's nowhere to go with it, so he takes off and goes. And now as he gets to the 1st down marker, he blows right past it and picks up big yardage. Partner, that's a great bit of improvisation.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 46. It's complete to Brown, right side. And he's taken down inside the 30. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
Now Daniels. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Brown. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
And we've seen him have success earlier on with the ball in his hands because he has a get it in space and make a play kind of a receiver. But that time, they closed on him quickly and held him to a short gain.
Now a 2nd and 2. Back to the ground with Robinson. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. A solid pickup of 13 sets him up 1st and goal.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
It'll be a gain of 5 there as they move closer. It's 2nd and goal.
Hat tip to that offensive line. They're clearing some holes, even down here deep in the red zone. And that's a nice pickup on the ground on 1st and goal.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Robinson fighting, but he won't get too far. Maybe a yard, that's all, down to the 2. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown,
you want 2.
You're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the 2nd one.
Robinson. And this is going to depend on the spot, but I believe he might be a few inches short. Only a yard that time, so now a decision to be made here on 4th and goal. Defense didn't budge on 3rd down. Now what are we going to see on 4th?
We are soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football or what?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
This is an old-fashioned goal line stand. I know what I would call on offense. I would go for it. I want some type of a play where my quarterback has a chance to run it or throw it. I don't just want one static play.
3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, where the 4th quarter will begin with a kickoff following the score on the final play of the 3rd quarter. Seibert now to kick this thing away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet.
Good push from the offensive line, and they've done well so far to build this lead. Now, they've got to get things to the finish line, and that's a solid pickup there to begin the drive.
Hurts. Over the middle to Smith. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Hurts finding Smith for the Philly first.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Hurts sets up to throw it. Goes right back to Smith again. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10, down at the 31. They're going to look to throw. Over the middle, complete. It's Smith. And down inside the 15 he goes. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
That's the 3rd time on this drive that these two have connected with each other. They've got a real rapport going. And right now, it's paying off with big chunks of yardage as shown by that last play.
Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. Complete. Smith has it. Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Throw right side, caught by Goddard, the tight end. And the Eagles are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme, and you can drop it.
And he's in. Touchdown, Eagles. Jalen Hurts keeping it himself from a yard out. And the Eagles will add to their 4th quarter lead. Well, that's certainly going to bump up the old win probability index because now it's a 2-score game here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, you're taking me into that deep water now. Win probability index. This game's definitely not over. We're not looking at a 0.5% or something. It's just 2 scores. But the way that this team has played, to me, what I've seen, they absolutely deserve to win this game. They've been the better team by far throughout.
Elliott good with a PAT, and that pushes the lead up to 11. So this drive spans 7 plays, and it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Washington offense set to take over. And you figure after giving up that last touchdown, they trail by 2 scores here in the 4th quarter. This drive becomes very critical. Daniels looking to throw. This is swung out to Eckler. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it'll be 2nd down. And a good start there on 1st down. They've got to have this drive.
No doubt about it. Down a couple of scores. They have to find a way to put it in the end zone. Chunk plays, explosive plays. That will be the key to this drive.
2nd and 5. Looking Austin Eckler's way again. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. It'll go as a pickup of 14 and a Washington 1st down.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? To throw is Daniels. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
This is what defensive coaches ask of their defenders every single ball game. Get a hand on every throw in coverage. They want the deflections. They want the knockaways. Pick it yourself if you can, but at least knock it down and guarantee it's incomplete.
Throwing now is Daniels. And that's into the hands of Eckler. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
He's going deep for Brown. And it's knocked away and incomplete. The 2017 All-Pro Darius Slay there in coverage, knocking it away.
I've got a good friend in football who always talks about predictive history. He's got one of their 2 touchdowns. You can understand why they tried to find him again. Weren't able to connect, but the thought, that was good.
They'll run for it with Robinson. And he will have a 1st down here at about the 40. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. Where they were on the field, kind of no man's land. Do you like the call?
I love the call. Almost had to go for it there, right, because of what you just described. Too far for the field goal, too short for the punt. You might punt in the end zone and just give them good field position anyway. Let's go for it. Plus, they were moving the ball. They had confidence that they could pick up this last bit of real estate.
And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. The Washington passing game dialed in now. It's a 1st down.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. And a hard-working run here as he's got it inside the 20, down to the 17. 65 yards on the ground for him now as he's done that on 15 carries.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down. And he's in. Touchdown, Commanders. Jaden Daniels from 17 yards out. And the Commanders have made it a one-score game again here in the fourth. So how about that for an answer? They get the touchdown there, and it's back to a one-score game here in the fourth.
And that's what these guys have done all game long because they've scratched and slashed their way to stay in this game. And by now, we should all realize they're not going away. Now the pressure again swings to their defense because they're going to need to find some way to get the ball back.
Daniels going to try and throw for it. Flush to his right. So unable to throw it in for two from the two. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a two-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst, and if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. 5 points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on first down. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball. Now the Commanders going to burn the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. They'll see about converting this 3rd and 8. They'll drop to throw. And that should do it. He's got a first down. And the Eagles, they can run it out from here. And they'll indeed take a knee. Second and 11. Out of the shotgun, they run with Barkley.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
Hurts down to one knee, and that should just about do it.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter. Something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
What a game we were treated to in this one. And on that final play, they had a chance. They had the ball just beyond midfield for one final shot, but couldn't get it done, and they suffered the loss.
Yeah, and you mentioned how they had a chance on that final play, and getting it to midfield gave them that opportunity, hoping they could find their way to the end zone and make that miracle happen. A really good ending to an entertaining contest, though.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Garden. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. The Eagles are winners here as we say so long from Philadelphia.